goes to a tribunal, and then somewhere along the line abandons his own petition, refuses to testify in his own defense, or to even admit his own statement on oath. In law, a mere statement of oath, which is like a statement of claim, is like a carcass. You need evidence viva voce, oral evidence, to animate it, to give it life. So clearly, at that stage, he abandoned his matter. There's no way the Court of Appeal could have said that was not important. Let me mention another point here. Their second star witness was witness number 20, one Mr. Nweke. Now, in his testimony, he was just a collation center officer. He was not a polling unit officer. And like I've said already, results are generated from polling units. In the entire case, only 20 witnesses testified for Dr. Oti, as against the 27 of Dr. Ikpeazu. Of these 20 witnesses, only 4 testified for polling units. So the Court of Appeal rightly held that, look, this Mr. Nweke, who was just a collation officer, couldn't have witnessed what happened in the over 30,000 units in the entire Abia election. Because one, he was not a clairvoyant, he had no esoteric powers, he was not a witch or wizard who could go on astral journey to begin to know what was happening in the entire Abia state. So the Court of Appeal rightly dismissed his testimony along that line. But the same Court of Appeal, surprisingly, relied on the evidence of this Nweke to say there was overvoting. How do you know overvoting? You juxtapose the card reader results with Form EC8A, which are the votes cast in that polling unit. But what the Court of Appeal did was to juxtapose the results of the card reader with Form EC8C, which are the results collected from local government areas instead of the polling units, which are the center or the theater of war.
Chief Ozekhome, allow me to come in here.
So with all respect, they missed the point again there. And I know that these are points which they may not have done deliberately. But
excuse me. Let's look at some of those points here.
Out of maybe appreciation of the issues at stake.
Very quickly, let's look at this point
you
here.
Have to look at
Chief
section
Ozekhome.
53, subsection 2. Yes.
Trying to look
of
at
the
the
Electoral
point.
Act. Thank you.
We'll come back to the Electoral Act.
Sorry.
I think my question needs to be brought in here at this time. We're trying to look at what transpired even before they went for the appeal. Now you're bringing up some other issues that were dealt with during the proceeding at the tribunal. You recall that the three contentious local government areas that had been cancelled were later readmitted, by the electoral officer on that day. Some of the opinion that first he has no powers to do that. Let's start from there. 3 local government areas were cancelled, and later on he reversed himself. Going back to the Electoral Act, what's the stand there?
Yeah, once elections are cancelled, you have to go back to section 53, subsection 2, which I was just coming to. It has to do with overvoting. What it says is that where the returning officer finds that there has been overvoting in a polling unit, he can cancel the elections. Having cancelled them, he has to weigh whether in this cancelled result will affect the total results of that constituency. And if he finds that, yes, it will affect the total results of that constituency, then INEC fixes another date for elections to be rerun or to be held in those areas. That is the provision of the law. But what the Court of Appeal did in this case, with all respect, wrongly in my honest view, is that having discovered or having found that there was overvoting in Obingwa, Isialangwa North, and Ozekhome, all it would have done is to say, since the difference between the votes of Ikpeazu and Oti was much less than the entire votes of 250,000 of those 3 local government areas, he should have asked for a rerun. Because in the final results, Ikpeazu had about 148,000 votes. About 115,044 votes. While Dr. Oti had about 152,332 votes.
But Chief, let me jump in there because
the difference between them was 48,888 votes.
All right, just a minute, Chief. I mean,
so they ought to have ordered, in the worst scenario, a rerun in those 3 local government areas that are the issue.
But you have many who will say that that wasn't the prayer of the Abga candidate in the first instance. So the court cannot give what he wasn't seeking. He was seeking to be declared as the winner of the election, having seen the results, and as a result of overvoting.
I didn't get that, sorry.
You said the court should have declared a rerun. The Abga candidate was not seeking for a rerun. He wanted the court to declare him the winner.
That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he did not ask the court to declare him the winner. I'm saying in declaring him the winner, the Court of Appeal, with all respect, was wrong. It should have been a rerun to be ordered.
So the Court of Appeal...
difference between the votes between him and Dr. Ikpeazu, which was just 48,888, was far less than the 250,000 votes that were cancelled. So if you rerun 250,000 votes, you can see the difference that will probably emerge, where this one to have 150 something and the other one 100 something.
So in other words, what you're saying is, correct me if I'm wrong.
That was another grave error there.
So what you're saying is that if he goes to court seeking a particular prayer, the court could give him something else.
Sorry?
He went to court asking the court to declare him the winner, yes, and not to conduct a rerun. But you're saying that the court should have said there should be a rerun.
That is what he asked for. A court of law does not act in vain or in vacuum. You have to act within the presence of the law. What does the law prescribe? For example, I give an example with the Taraba case, which I had analyzed here, I remember. And the Court of Appeal decision of 31st December came exactly according to my humble analysis. Under Section 140, Subsection 2 of the Electoral Act, when you find that a candidate was not qualified or was disqualified for any reason in running for an election, the judgment ought to be a rerun. Not that you should take the certificate from the winner, who is Governor Ishaku, and hand over to the running mate, Aja Al-Hassan, which is a different scenario created under Section 140, Subsection 3.
You know,
where you have preponderance or majority of votes of one candidate over another. That was why the Court of Appeal, rightly led by Justice Abdul Aboki, rightly rejected that judgment and brought and allowed the governor to sit.
Now, assuming the Court of Appeal ordered a rerun, how would that have changed the course of events on this particular matter?
Oh, how it would have changed is simple. The difference between the two after the suppression and addition was 48,488. remove that from 250,000. The difference is 200 something thousand, which will be a battleground for both candidates. And anyone could then pick it up. That is a great difference. That is a great difference.
No, but Chief, for the fact that the returning officer at that instance canceled the elections and then said, well, not within my powers, wasn't that a red flag